it.
didn't answer the fucking question.
You responded with a question, which isn't answering the question, sir. Answer the question.
Wait, do you understand my question?
I want you to answer my question. I pointed out to the room that you would be unable
Okay, can
to,
you
and
wait,
you
wait, wait. Do you
just
have some
showed that
sort
I
of
was right. Sir, you're
okay.
interrupting me.
No,
Sir,
go
you're
ahead.
interrupting me.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you just demonstrated in front of the whole room that I was right, and you were just humiliated because I promised the room that you would not be able to answer the question, and you demonstrated that by not even attempt. You didn't even attempt to answer the question. You just responded by asking me a question. You're a clown, sir. You're a fucking clown.
Ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you to
Somebody
calm
else
down.
handle this fool.
Bro, you must have taken a couple acting classes. So the contradiction here is that you cannot have a cause of something from nothing because
claim-
nothing is not a valid wait. Nothing is not a valid cause of anything, and therefore it cannot have an effect.
Look,
Right?
if I stop you, it's going to usually be for a good reason. The claim is not that nothing caused something, right? So I guess the phrasing there is confused. It maybe to better communicate, we could say something like there was nothing, and then there was something, right? But there's no causal connection, right? Such that we just have a random effect. Okay. Now, I don't think that what's understood in terms of an event is that there's a prior event necessarily that's causally connected, right? I don't think that that's required, such that we could have the universe pop into existence, and we could have an event prior to that that's nothing. That there's nothing, right? There could be nothing.
Okay, so why do you claim that? That seems silly to me.
No, what my claim is
Maybe I'm
that's
misinterpreting.
possible.
It's not.
I
okay.
may actually may find it unintuitive to a point where I think it's like implausible or something. But I don't think I could claim that it's impossible that the
Right, and
universe.
that's not what I'm trying to trap you into, right? What I'm saying is similar to what you're saying. To me, like I said before, and this is why I phrased it the way I did originally. To me, it does not seem possible or likely. We'll soften it up. I'll meet you in the middle. I'll say it's not plausible in my view that something can in fact come from nothing because logically nothing as a concept would not have an effect. It is nothing. It has nothing.
Danny,
it has no
he's just
properties. And
backpedaling.
hold on. It will not have any properties to basically cause something else or have an effect on anything.
But that's
else,
precisely
right?
what the person wants to deny, that there is a cause. I don't know. We're not talking
Right, that's
about.
Exactly what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. She's trying to claim that, and like I've been doing this whole time, I asked again right after she got done with her very condescending mannerisms with me. I asked, what is your reasoning for believing this? Like in the beginning when I asked if somebody could show me not even an example, I said if you could show me a line of reasoning that would necessarily entail the possibility or plausibility of something coming from nothing, I would accept that.
Nobody even ever claimed that. You were the one
There's a
that
reason.
brought it up.
Look, I was just saying that I could
go ahead,
find
man.
it unintuitive, right? First of all, that wouldn't
Okay.
be really a line of reasoning, right? That wouldn't be an argument. Someone could have the opposite intuition, and I'd be begging the question. The point is that if someone thought that it was possible, or that the universe did in fact come into being without a cause, there wouldn't be anything contradictory about that belief.
Well, actually, there would. I'm presenting a line of reasoning in which that is Hold on. So I'm presenting a line of reasoning over and over that would actually make that contradictory, in my view, the one that I'm espousing here. And what I'm asking anyone in this call to do is to present a view that this would not be contradictory in. The only thing that one lady did was basically ask me a question about how nothing can prevent something from happening. Her monologue was very long. It was hard to follow. So all I'm asking is that somebody present a line of reasoning that would naturally
it's not so much
this belief.
Look, all I'm saying is that there are no, based on the meanings of the words, right? There's no two propositions that contradict each other, right? You see, if I gave you an example with a married bachelor, right? Those are contradictory statements because we take bachelor, like as a contradictory notion, I should say, because I take bachelor to be at odds with the word married, right? Now, when I
Hmm.
say the universe began to exist without a cause, our understanding of beginning, right, is not tied to our concept of cause, right? It's not.
It
They're
is.
separate. It
It would be
is.
actually.
So why is it that beginning means cause? Like
Right.
what?
You're using literal descriptivism. So basically, what you're trying to say to me is that the word beginning does not have cause within the Oxford definition, does not have it within Stanford, Webster's definition. I'm saying that colloquially, and how a person would use this, a philosopher would use this, how G.E. Moore would use this, is to say the verse began because of X. To anything. You are no longer a bachelor when you begin your marriage. When you begin your marriage, you are like now
He must
not
be
a
a troll.
bachelor. That is the beginning of your non-bachelor existence, I guess. The beginning of something can in fact be the cause and is the cause, right? So if you want to play or not play, I don't think you're playing games. You seem genuine, right? So if you want to tell me that the beginning of something is not the cause of it, I'm going to have to ask you why you think the beginning of something is excluded from being the cause, because that sounds like your claim.
You didn't get this from T-Jump, did you?
No, I have not talked with T-Jump about this.
Okay, well, okay. There's a lot of work to be done here. I don't. No, okay.
Danny, you don't think
I
he's
mean, like, I
trolling?
don't even know where to begin.
Danny,
But
what
like,
was that bachelor thing? You don't think he's trolling you?
Why don't you
I
why don't you
don't.
just ask him what propositions actually form the contradiction
Yeah,
to
what
derive
two
a
That I
contradiction?
propositions?
did. I did
What
ask
are the
him
two?
that.
What are the
Yeah,
two propositions
but
that
then
contradict each other?
you let him off the hook, and I don't think he could answer
Wait,
you.
no. Let's go back to that. Nobody's off the hook here. So you're asking
I
for
just don't
what?
know if I can reason with him.
What two propositions are inconsistent with each other? What two propositions contradict each other?
Man, you should really calm down. You sound like you're gonna burst a blood vessel. Holy shit.
Like, I just look. Ask yourself. Look, all I want to do is like free him from the T. He's a T-Jump. Like, he respects T-Jump. I just want to like take away the bonds. I want him to free. I want to see him the light, right? But I don't want to destroy him. I don't want to like put him down. Like, there's just like this
I
is
don't
this is
think.
a sad.
I don't think you're going to
Well,
ruin me with
obviously, if someone's isn't
ask
it
yourself,
a
aren't you
good
scared of T-Jump?
strategy? Sorry, can we just a second? Isn't it a good
I don't really think I'm going to be
that's like
successful.
Well,
I don't think I'm going to be successful.
Sir,
Wait.
what two
Just real quick, so I can
propositions?
respond to.
what would
so I can
sorry
respond
Danny,
to
but
Mr.
what would you be unsuccessful with? And you're just asking him to
Mhm.
drive it. He's going to
Well,
be
my goal is to
presumably
convince
There
him,
we go.
but I
unsuccessful
don't
in
think he can.
driving.
I
So
don't.
Oh,
wait. Both of you can ask me. That's fine. But if you wouldn't mind, I did have a question for ask yourself. Ask yourself: have you
well,
ever
I think that
debated
there's a
T-Jump?
question. Yeah, oh, I've debated T-Jump, but I think that there's a question for you on the
Okay.
table right now. You can ask me about T-Jump some other time.
No,
Sir,
I
what are the
already
two
did. We're good here, man. We're
propositions?
good.
What are the
Anyway,
two
so the
propositions?
question. Hold on. The angry lady. Can you wait a second? The other
Well,
guy. Can you
she's
ask me your
asking the
question?
question that we're all asking, right? What propositions actually form the contradiction?
Right. So the contradiction of something coming from nothing. That's what you're looking for here.
Yeah,
Well, I rephrased that.
Okay.
You said that it's impossible. You said it's impossible for for the universe not to have a cause. I think that was the claim. So
No,
we
my
just want
claim
you
is
to
to basically. Right. My claim is that
someone okay, I didn't sorry, what?
My claim is that something cannot come from nothing. It does not logically code.
Okay, so let's just do that instead of the universe can't not have a cause. We'll say something can't come from nothing. Okay, so can you
Right.
actually show us what the contradiction is there?
Right. He's basically was that the universe.
No, I
Even though
don't.
it's not
Sorry.
intuitive.
This is okay. So this is like the part where we're getting to a problem. Okay, so everyone in here kind of has like an expectation. When they ask for a contradiction, they just want you to spell out the propositions forming the contradiction. They don't want any like Danny said this, you said this, blah blah. Just tell us the propositions that form the contradiction. What propositions are those?
Right. So if I have to answer something contextually, I still need the context in my answer.
No. Sorry. If there's
You
a
don't need to be sorry.
contradiction,
We'll skip it, bro.
so,
Let's skip
yeah,
it.
well, just please don't look. You're not
We'll
gonna
skip it.
like.
It's fine, bro.
Okay.
I'll answer your question the way you did. Is that okay?
Yes. What I want is for you to spell out what propositions form the contradiction.
Right. So my proposition's here. How do I want to put this? The universe literally cannot come from nothing because it is something. So, in my belief, the contradiction.
That's sorry. You're already having a problem, right? I asked you to spell out what propositions form the contradiction, and all you did there was restate the claim, right? What I don't. We understand that you think that it's impossible for something to come from nothing. We're asking for you to actually demonstrate what contradiction is entailed there. And before demonstrating it, we're asking you to just state what the contradiction is, right?
The contradiction is that you cannot have nothing as a concept be a cause. That is contradictory.
Okay. Now listen.
Does that make sense?
No, that's not. That answer doesn't make sense as a category error because that's not a contradiction.
No, like,
What?
like he's just looking for P and not P.
Stop. Well, no, you didn't. What proposition? You didn't give P and not P. That's what we're looking for, right? Would you like me to explain how that's P and not P? Stop. You're starting to annoy me. Okay, you're clearly struggling with some basic logic. Okay, it's just okay. I'm just using priority. When I push the priority button, my volume's at 80, yours is at 10. You're just like wiener, like flailing in the wind. No, like they can't even hear you. Can't hear anything you're saying unless they have their ear like held up against the speaker, listening in vain. They're not even hearing you. Okay, so why are you even trying to talk over me? I'm gonna try to say what I was trying to say before. Okay, I'm gonna actually just have to mute you because you're not shutting up. Okay. Now, when someone does this, when they won't shut up and let you talk, when you're trying to just lay out some foundational stuff that's necessary to even have the conversation, that's a big red flag, okay? Now, people repeatedly asked you to explain what the contradiction is, okay? You're in a philosophy... Oh, did he leave? No, he's still there. You're in a philosophy server, okay? People in here care about, like, formal logic. They care about philosophy. They care about debate. There's certain expectations and norms in a community like this, okay? When you say that something is impossible, right, what the server takes that to mean is that you can show that there is a logical impossibility there, a contradiction, right? So what we want is for you to do that. Now, what you said was not actually a contradiction. You just restated the claim that it's impossible for something to happen, okay? So what we need to do is we need to actually stop the whole conversation about, God and religion and stuff. And you just need to be walked through basic logic so that you understand what a contradiction is. So do you understand, firstly, can you just give the formal structure? Mm-hmm. Oh, someone said unmute him. So I'm just gonna ban them.
Almost.
Now you said, sorry, what I want to know is, can I
try to steel man it for him?
Well, 1 second. I just want him to tell us, if he can, just the formal structure of a contradiction. What's that look like?
Okay, am I unmuted?
Yeah, I'm asking you to tell us.
Ask yourself, after your monologue, can I answer the original thing? Holy shit, dude.
No. Okay. Oh God. I can tell this is going to be bad, so I'm just going to try it one more time, and then I'm going to pass it off to someone else, because people like this are fucking cancer, okay? You're just trying to ramble. I'm not going back with you to the prior discussion, okay? Other people might. The reason I'm not is because you're making a claim in that discussion that something's impossible, and you don't understand in any kind of technical way what it means to say something is impossible, right? So there's a more basic conversation that we have to have before we can even have that conversation. You need to understand what a contradiction even is before we can have a conversation where your claim is that something entails a contradiction, okay? So just going to ask you one more time. And if you ramble or don't answer or anything, you're just not going to hear my voice reply because it's just fucking hopeless, okay? If you do actually answer, though, I'll keep talking to you. So can you just tell me what you think the formal structure of a contradiction is? Just use the nomenclature of propositional logic to tell me. I'm just going to unmute you.
Stop replying. You're an idiot. Stop replying. Stop
Have
replying.
fun.
Good. Ask yourself. You're a baby. Holy shit, dude. All right. Are you done? All right.
Why don't you just say you don't fucking know, and then you can have a conversation?
I'm
Like,
muted. I can't have a conversation.
You're
I don't know
clearly
what Wait, what am
you're
I supposed to do?
clearly
How do I
deflecting.
have a conversation? I'm muted.
You're deflecting. He gave you the question, and
I know. I
you
offered to answer it.
told me.
I answered it 3 different ways, and he got a little butthurt. It's fine.
What's the best way? I missed it. Sorry.
No, I answered him 3 separate ways, and he still got mad because he basically wants me to trap myself with his little guiding question. It's a basic debate tactic from Seth the Programmer's server. That's why I know he wouldn't survive them. He's an idiot.
He asked you what 2 propositions are in
Mhm.
contradiction.
I gave him
your
the
response
proposition.
was
He didn't want that. He asked for the
No,
contradiction
you didn't
specifically.
even
I gave him the
respond. You responded
contradiction.
with one, sir. You're interrupting.
Okay, how about this? Go ahead and finish your thing.
I just want to say one thing to Godless too. Just to be clear, initially I asked him what propositions form the contradiction, which is what everyone was asking him, right? But then when he kept giving answers that weren't actually in the format of a contradiction, I realized he doesn't actually know in a logical sense what a contradiction is. So
Ask yourself, I already explained to you what a contradiction
I'm trying to
is.
talk to him. Shut up. Okay, so now the question I'm asking him, just to be clear, Godless, I'm not asking him anymore what propositions form the contradiction because he doesn't understand what a contradiction is. Now the question that I'm asking him is just to explain using the nomenclature of propositional logic what a contradiction
Wait, I don't know what that is. Can you tell me what that? I don't know what that is.
That's the whole P and not P, Godless.
Oh, okay.
Is everyone done?
I just want to see if Godless, do you appreciate why I'm doing that? Because he's invoking this concept, right? He's making a claim, and his claim contains the concept of a contradiction, right? But he doesn't seem to know what that is. So it's important to actually clear up what a contradiction is so that then we can understand if his claim makes sense or not. Because he thinks he can just say some random thing as a contradiction because he doesn't like how it sounds. He doesn't realize it actually has a precise meaning. So do you understand why I'm asking him that?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Well, maybe I could ask him a different way. Sir, do you
Wait, am I supposed to be answering you or ask yourself? Because ask yourself is trying to.
Oh,
he's
are
trying
you
to
ready to
sidestep
answer him?
actually
Go
engaging
ahead.
with me. Yeah.
To Godless.
Ask yourself. The reason. Wait. Ask yourself. What I described to you was a contradiction. I also gave you the premises when you asked. Right. When I explained the claim to try to refresh your memory, you didn't like that either. Do you want me? Which part of this do you want me to explain? Like, do you want me to go into P, not P? Do you want me to go into exactly the issue I'm taking with the idea that something can come from nothing? Like, what part of this are you missing? I'm just curious.
What I want you to do first is tell me, using the nomenclature of propositional logic, what a contradiction is. Okay.
So a contradiction would be like, let me put this in the simplest terms, so I'm not rambling, quote unquote, right? Contradiction is like, I am.
Do you think you're
and I don't exist. How about that? As fundamentally simple as possible.
Do you think you're using nomenclature when you just speak to me in natural language?
No, I just don't like to use it. I'd rather keep it simple because you got mad at me.
Are you actually competent?
Wait, did I already?
Level?
No.
Sorry. Hello. Are you competent on a basic level with a formal logic? Like, if I give you arguments in propositional logic, can you tell if those arguments are valid, for example?
All right. Ask yourself, if you were less condescending, I'd explain it nicer. right?
Why don't you just answer the question? Yeah, it's hopeless
All
because
right,
you're not
here's the
gonna.
answer. Ask yourself.
We'll try one more time,
We'll try
right?
one
Because
more
you
time. I gave you the
semi
nomenclature.
replied, right? So can you actually tell me using the nomenclature, propositional logic, what a
No, you called the nomenclature answer rambling already. So I'm trying to simplify it.
I didn't hear a nomenclature answer. I would love if you gave an answer.
You know what nomenclature means? Ask yourself.
Wow, I'm simply in awe. Sorry, where did we find this?
I told you. That's why I was just.
He came in here because he's a T-Jump fan.
Nomenclature for you because you actually are.
Should we maybe maybe we should
ask yourself? It is literally.
I love. Do you think that it's? I love this. He thinks. I've got to mute him because I can't actually listen and talk at the same time. It's really hard for me to do. It's hilarious, right? I start asking him these questions that he doesn't really know how to answer. And his reply to all this is to try to make me seem stupid for not knowing how to define nomenclature. When anyone who's taken like grade 9 science can define nomenclature. And no, I'm not even going to humor you and define that because it's a derail, right? I'm asking you to use the nomenclature of propositional logic to tell me what a contradiction is. You could also tell me with respect to a truth table, if that's helpful, right? I just want some formal notion. I don't want you to just ramble in natural language, right? I want you to give a formal notion. What's it mean for something to be contradictory?
Okay. So for something to be contradictory, that would be like you telling me to define nomenclature and then saying it's a derail when I tell you to define it. That's contradictory.
Sorry. Let's just stop for a second. Telling me to define nomenclature and then telling you to define it and then I don't even remember. But did anybody think that the sentence that he just said was a contradiction?
No.
Of course not, right? Because he doesn't actually know what a contradiction is. So I'll give you another try, dude. You know what an honest person would do right now is just say, I don't actually have a formal notion. I have a rough, like, kind of intuitive understanding of what a contradiction is. Why don't you tell me what a contradiction means as a formal notion? That's what an honest person would do. Do you want to do that? Or do you want to maybe try to answer again?
Holy shit. So, okay. So I'll use the nomenclature since you're asking and just try not to get mad over it, right? So
sure, use the nomenclature to give an example contradiction.
All right. A definition of a contradiction is a combination of ideas that are in opposition to one another.
Do you think that you're giving a definition with respect to propositional logic like I requested?
All right, give me your definition.
Listen, moron. I'm not asking you to ramble at me in natural language. I'm asking you to actually tell me with respect to some formal system. It's obvious that you don't have any knowledge of any formal system, right? And I'll add, I don't personally have a lot of knowledge of formal logic, but I have enough to know the basic things like this, right? I have enough that I wouldn't make an idiot of myself like you're doing right now by making claims where I don't know any of the relevant logic, okay? So what I would recommend talking to this guy is if someone has the fucking patience, maybe Troy will do it, to actually explain to him a formal notion of contradiction. And then once he gets his head around it, then you can ask him with respect to that formal notion to actually explain what contradiction is entailed when we say that something came from nothing.
Because you're actually like, holy shit. You refuse to define these things.
I don't understand.
You refuse to define these things, and then when I define them to you in holy shit, in the fashion you ask for, then you're still mad. And I told you, like, you're not going to like any answer because you want to look good in front of your little echo chamber, and that's fine. I'm just going to call you out on it until you ban me. You're an idiot, dude. Like, this is why Seth the programmer would have killed you in a debate. This is why you didn't come into that community. This is why you didn't do that. Holy shit, dude.
Wait, I'm not appreciate.
Sorry, this is just an additional funny thing. This idiot doesn't realize. This idiot doesn't realize that Seth and I are friends. We talk regularly. You fucking moron.
Yeah, I know you guys are friends. He's talked about you. Everyone in that community's talked about you. We know about you. Holy shit, dude. Before that server was gone, we made fun of you because you're an idiot. You literally just train a bunch of these kids to be condescending and be pseudo-intellectuals. That's what we made fun of you for. You're like webcam parrot.
Yet you're the one rambling. Yet you're the one rambling. Yet you're the one rambling.
You can't define
How
your own
about this?
terms.
How about this?
Dude, you haven't
How
defined
about this?
anything. You can't
How
even define
about this?
nomenclature.
If
You
we
said, well, I
look
won't
at
even
a truth table,
humor you.
what
I
does
won't
the
even
truth
humor you by
table for a
defining- by
contradiction
defining
look
the word
like?
I overuse. You're a
What does the
pseudo-intellectual. You
truth
can't
table
define
for a
words you use.
contradiction
You
look
can't
like?
define words that you ask
What
other
does the
people to
truth
define.
table for a contradiction look like? What does the truth table for a contradiction look like? What does the truth table for a contradiction look like? What does the truth table for a contradiction look like?
Tell me the extent of your
What
reading on
does the
symbolic
truth
logic
table
real
for
quick.
a contradiction look like?
Oh my god, dude. Okay.
What
how about
does
this?
the truth
Define-
table for a contradiction
define
look
either-
like?
Define either of the things I just
What
defined.
does the
for
truth
you that you're
table for a
refusing to define.
contradiction look
What
like?
is the definition of nomenclature?
What
Try
does
that
the
one.
truth
That's a
table
little
for
bit
a
easier for you.
contradiction
How about
look like?
Try to define
What
contradiction
does
like
the truth table for a
Try to define
contradiction look like?
contradiction like I just did.
What
Ask
does the
yourself,
truth table
this
for a
is why your
contradiction
entire
look like?
server is pseudo-intellectuals, dude.
What does the truth
I
table
would've
for a
been-
contradiction
bro, I
look
gave you
like?
every chance to try to just have a conversation.
What does the truth table for a
All right,
contradiction
so are you
look
done?
like?
Wait. So if I
What
answer,
does the
if
truth
I answer
table
this,
for a
are we gonna-
contradiction
are we gonna
look
be
like?
civil? Are we going to be civil?
What does the truth
Are
table
we
for a
gonna, are
contradiction
we
look
going to
like?
talk if I answer this? Are we going to
What
talk
does
if I
the
answer
truth
this? Are you going
table
to
for
start
a
the context?
contradiction look like?
Okay. If I answer this, are
What
you
does the
going to
truth
keep this
table
civil? Or
for
are
a
you going to play this game?
contradiction look like?
Are you going to play this game? Ask yourself.
What
That's not
does
why I'm
the
here.
truth table for a
Nobody came here to play
contradiction
games
look
with
like?
you. Ask yourself. You can either.
What does the
Okay.
truth table
Just
for a
real quick.
contradiction look like?
Okay, ask yourself. Just be
What
calm.
does the truth table for a contradiction
Bro,
look
calm
like?
down for a second.
What
If I
does
answer
the
this
truth
for you,
table
if I
for a
answer this for
contradiction
you,
look
can
like?
you just have a conversation?
What does the truth table for a contradiction look like?
You don't. Holy shit, dude.
What does the
You
truth table
understand?
for a contradiction look like?
The truth, it would basically be like, since it's a mathematic form of logic, it would be two things that do not have a valid.
What does
valid
the
value.
truth table for a contradiction look like? What's the unifying
I just
feature of
told
truth
you.
tables
It
for
is
contradiction?
It is two things whose value would not
Are
be.
you talking about a truth table? What does the
am
truth
talking about a
table
truth
for a
table. You would know that if you knew what a truth table
Let
is.
me try
This
to
is
help
how I
you
know you're a
understand.
dude.
If I
Wait,
draw
I'm reading
out
you
a
the
truth
definition.
table
Wait,
for a
I read
contradiction,
you the definition,
what
and you still
feature
can't get
will
to it.
that truth
Okay,
table
how about this? How
have?
about this? Wait.
What does the truth table for a contradiction look like? What is the
I've explained
unifying
what it looks
feature
like. I've
of
defined it
truth
for you.
tables
What else
for
do you want, bro?
contradictions?
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I haven't even heard
Do
you
you
tell
want-
me what the table looks
Holy
like.
shit.
What does the
Holy
truth table? Do you know what a table is, idiot?
I've
What does
told
the
you.
truth table? Truth
Nobody's mad at you. Ask
table,
yourself, calm down.
dumbass.
Nobody's attacking
What
you
does
right now.
the truth
Nobody's
table
attacking
for
you.
a contradiction look like?
Do you want me to just let you get this out of your
What
system?
does
Does that
the
make you
truth
feel better?
table for a contradiction
Does that
look
make you
like?
feel better? Ask yourself.
What does the truth table for a
What does
contradiction
that
look
truth
like?
Bro, I've defined it twice. If you're not going to listen, I'm
What
going to
does,
stop.
I'm not asking for a definition. What does the
Then
truth
you
table
did. Wait.
of a
You
contradiction
asked me for a
look like?
definition. You've also asked for an
What
example.
does the truth table for a
I just told
contradiction look like?
Holy shit. Okay. If I answer
What
this, are you going to calm
does
down?
the truth table for a contradiction look like? What is the unifying feature of truth tables for contradiction?
Okay. Holy shit. If I answer this, are you going to calm down?
Oh my
bro?
god. It's
you
just
going to
pointless.
calm down?
I don't know why anyone would even talk to a person like this.
Okay, do you want me to give you the example again? Will you feel better if I do it this time, right? Okay. Let's keep it at that. Now, for everyone who's asking, for everyone else who's actually trying to listen, what I described a contradictory truth table is looking like is basically two ideas or more whose values would be how do I want to put this? Just non-coherent. That's literally it.
Can anyone tell what he just said? What the truth?
I'm
That
sorry.
sounded
ask
like a
yourself.
pill popper laugh.
I gave it to you in the simplest terms I can, man. That's all I can do for you. I can't. Do you want me to break it down? Do you want me to give you the nomenclature again so
No,
you can get mad?
don't worry. I'm making you a drawing. We'll be there in a
Can
minute.
can I get some F's in the
Holy
chat?
shit,
Some F's in the chat.
Okay.
Detroyer, what do you think? Could you talk to him?
That was a
Don't give it away. I'm going to draw a table, and we're going to show that he doesn't even know how to fill it in. Just a minute.
I think we should have Detroyer talk to him.
Yo, no hate, but you should rename the server group masturbation because it seems kind of like a server.
Am I audible? My connection's not very good.
Don't
Yeah.
piss
I
him
hear
off.
you.
He's like on the verge of actually killing me at this point.
I hear you, Detroyer.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
you're loud and clear.
Yo, ask yourself. I got one question.
No. Oh god. Don't do this.
I got one question. Ask yourself.
No. Don't piss. Don't. If it's like mean, don't do it. He's gonna get like more mad.
I'm not gonna say anything mean. No, like you know me. I'm not mean.
Shut up, asshole. Shut your fucking ass.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
All right, who the
mean-
fuck said that? Were you talking to me, pussy?
Yeah, I was talking to you.
No.
No one wants to hear
Nigga, you sound like you got dementia or some
Wait,
shit. Shut
can
your
the-
fucking
can
old
the
ass up, nigga. I
mods,
will
like,
knock you the
do
fuck out, dumb
something?
nigga.
Shut up, shut up. Yeah, you got owned. Get fucked, faggot.
Right. So again, and ask yourself, just so you have this on hand. So a contradiction would literally just be like, it would just be a compound that's always false. Like I'm not sure how much simpler I can make it. I'm really trying to put it into like 4 words, but I don't know if I can get it much smaller, bro.
Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to fill that in.
Hold on. Let me look in your general chat here.
It's really confusing.
I don't think it's confusing. I think I just explained it to you like 5 different ways, bro.
So what does that get filled in by?
Hold on. Let me see. Do I like draw on this?
No, you just tell me what we put in the empty squares.
No, I don't think you're listening, so I'm going to draw on this.
What?
No, I'm going to draw out and fill it out like he asked. There's no
Okay.
denying it.
If he draws it correctly, that's great, and we can return to the prior question.
Yeah, draw it and then post it in the chat. All right.
Mhm.
Don't bullshit. You don't know what the fucking truth table's gonna look like when it's complete.
I don't see anything. Where are you guys posting shit? In general chat? I don't see
General.
anything.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
in general.
What?
Just scroll up. I'll repost it.
Oh god, these are like the worst Fs I've ever drawn, but whatever.
Okay, good enough.
Okay. All right. Great. Now.
Okay. Will you stop?
Now.
Will you
No.
stop?
Now
Oh
we
my
return to the prior question. Okay. So a contradiction
will you-
is a statement
wait,
that
will you have a
evaluates to
conversation
false.
about
That
that?
evaluates to
I'm
false
asking, will you-
under all
Okay, I'll just
conditions.
look at
Under
that.
all
I'll just look at
conditions.
that.
Hello, idiot. A contradiction is a
Okay,
statement
getting mad
that
at me.
evaluates
I'm gonna
to
be
false
really
for all potential truth values of the variables. Okay. Now the question is back to what we were talking about before, which is what contradiction is entailed when you say that something that, oh my god, I got to mute him because it distracts me from talking. What contradiction, right? What statement that evaluates to false in every possible world is entailed when someone says that something came from nothing? That's the question that's now on the table for you. Troy, do you want to talk to this like blazing moron?
Not really.
You just wanted to clarify the logic part, I guess.
Nah, I just want. Also, connection's
Okay.
really poor, so I don't know if I'm.
You would come in for a minute, so I thought maybe you wanted to talk. Yeah, but the blazing moron, now that, okay, so you filled out the truth table. I would assume, based on how far everything you said before that was from being an answer, that someone probably told you how to do that. But that's fine. Now that you at least understand, right? Now what we want to know is what statement that evaluates to false in every possible world is entailed when someone says that there is something that didn't have a beginning, or what was it? The universe didn't have a beginning. What was his
Something
exact
come from
phrase?
nothing.
Yeah, something came from nothing, right? What contradiction is entailed there? What statement that evaluates to false in every possible world?
Okay. So the statement that will always come out false, to put it in the simplest terms for you, because you seem to have comprehension issues.
Yep,
The
here we
simplest
go.
way I can put this-
Let's
Whoa,
all place a bet.
I'm
Wait, I
doing
want
a
to place a bet.
reason.
Wait, I want to place a bet. No, we're gonna let you answer, and I know you're trying to answer. You're probably not, but I just want to place a bet. So we're gonna go vote in general. We're gonna go, is it gonna be a contradiction? And we're gonna put vote 1 as yes, and we're gonna put vote 2 as no. And if you're in general, just vote and we'll see. Do you think the statement he's about to give me is going to actually be a logical contradiction? Just gonna give that 30 seconds to come in. Yeah, if you accidentally voted the wrong way, just put your fresh vote. The machine will go to whatever the most recent one is. Okay, 78% of people are betting it won't be a contradiction. So let's just see. What contradiction is entailed when we say that, what is it? It's godless, remind me again, something came from nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah, something came from nothing.
Okay. The contradiction is you cannot come from nothing simply because there is nothing to come from. That is a contradiction. Do I need to make it any simpler for you?
I didn't hear a contradiction there.
That's okay. How about this? Wait, no, hold on. I'll explain it to you. Okay. So I came from no place.
Oh, is this more natural language rambling? We're looking
no,
for
because you're no. I'm making it as simple as possible for you, aren't I?
Oh my God. We're looking for a statement which, if we represent formally, will evaluate to false in all possible worlds. Okay? The verbiage you just gave me, right? That bit of language you just gave me. If I represent that formally, it's not going to evaluate to false in all possible worlds, right? What we want to know is what the actual contradiction is.
Okay. The contradiction is that you cannot come from a place that does not exist. That's it.
Are you taking it?
Okay, now that's the question. Can I? I'll say one last thing, and then I'll swear I'll give it to you, Godless. Now, what would actually be a contradiction? Because of course, no, that's not a contradiction. You're just a blazing moron. What would actually be a contradiction is not saying you can't come from a place that doesn't exist. It would be saying it is and is not the case that you can't come from a place that doesn't exist, right? Something that, if actually plugged in, if actually represented formally, will evaluate to false in all possible worlds, right? What you gave was just a proposition. That's not a contradiction. Sorry, go ahead, Godless.
No, I was wondering. Well, I mean, I could put what he's trying to say.
Godless. Hold on. I have one last thing to respond to Mr. Isaac.
Sorry, I would far rather hear Godless talk than this person. What were you saying?
I think I could put what he's. I think I could put what he's trying to say into two propositions. But is he trying to say that when we say from, that we're saying from some geographical location? Is he trying to equivocate on from? Is that what's going on?
Wait, but I thought you said that you know what propositions he's saying that form the contradiction.
Oh, no, if he's trying to take us to say from is in a geographical location, then I guess the two propositions would be, if you're coming from somewhere, it has to have a location, and then the proposition is the second proposition is nothing is in a location because nothing is the absence of everything or something.
You could get a contradiction where you could say there is a location where X happens, and it's not the case that there's a location where X happens.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but now, if he wants to say something like that as the contradiction, then the next step would be asking him how he actually derives that from the statement. Something came from.
Oh my goodness.
It's not a geographical
location. Can I
location.
respond now? Wait. Or do you want to mute me again, Isaac, to protect yourself and your little godless girl?
Sir, I was trying to help.
No, I think at this point, I'm just going to make a final statement, and I'm going to never say another word to you because you're a fucking absolute blazing idiot, right? So the basic problem here is you're saying something's impossible. You're in a philosophy community. It's a community that cares about debate and formal logic and this kind of stuff. When you say something's impossible, people actually expect you to derive a contradiction. What you did repeatedly when asked to explain what a contradiction is was not be able to give any kind of formal representation at all, right? Then finally, you tell us it's something that's going to evaluate to false, but I'm virtually certain someone provided you with that answer because you would have said that far earlier if you actually knew that. But either way, that's fine. Now, once we have that understanding of a contradiction on the table, we're back to the prior question, and we're just going to ask you, what is the contradiction that's entailed when someone says something came from nothing? Now, you didn't actually give us a contradiction. You just gave us a proposition, right? You didn't say some proposition that's true and it's not the case that it's true. You just gave us a proposition. It wasn't a contradiction. But if you actually, at some point in this conversation, manage to get to the stage of spelling out something that is actually a logical contradiction, then the next question would just be how you derive that from the statement that something came from nothing. I assume he'll meet at best the first challenge, likely not either. So that's all I'll say, and you guys can have fun talking to this absolute blazing moron.
Okay, buddy. So just to respond, I'll be quick so everyone can jump on me after this one.
Yo, what up?
All I'm saying is that this is defined in like terms of relations, right? You cannot transform or become something that would require nothing to possess content or relations, right? Since he wants a formal explanation, I'll give it to him in the most formal way I can possibly do it, right? So, meaning to have relations to something that does not exist would be impossible. You cannot have relations to or have interaction with something that does not exist because it does not exist for you to interact with or to have relations with. Logically, geographically, as Godless Girl put it, in any sense of the word, you cannot interact with something that does not exist. It will not have a cause. It will not have an effect because there is nothing to cause anything and nothing to affect anything. Since he wants a formal explanation, Isaac, you're a fucking idiot. Please put this on YouTube.
But that was natural language. That wasn't formal.
No, I started with formal. No. I started with formal language, and then I went back to natural because that's how I like to speak.
What about
Right.
there was
Are we
four
good?
people that
Are,
there
oh,
were
go ahead.
four
Go ahead.
people that thought he was gonna succeed. Who are those four people? Where are you? Who said that?
Holy shit, dude. Wait, where am I wrong, Godless Girl? Just
Four
curious.
people typed one.
Godless Girl, can you explain why I'm wrong? Maybe I'm dumb.
I wasn't even listening to you, sir. I was tuning you out.
Yeah, okay, Godless Girl. Wait, so you're tuning me out, but you're also claiming that I'm wrong. So you're claiming to have knowledge of the situation while simultaneously saying you don't have knowledge of the situation. You're an idiot or a liar. Pick one.
What did I say about having
What
knowledge
did
of
I
what you
say,
said
dude?
just
Take
now?
the needle out of your arm and maybe listen. Try that.
Sir, what did I say just now about
Sir,
having?
what
I
did
didn't
I
make
say?
any
I'm making
claims
fun of
about
you
what
at
you
this
just
point.
said. I just
No,
started asking the room questions.
Okay, how about this? Go ahead. I'll explain to you why you're an idiot.
What the fuck? Where y'all going?
Need push to talk in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So,
Is he in here?
yeah, I don't know, dude.
Oh, there we go. All right, ask yourself, since you brought me here, whatever, is there something you wanted to say to me other than what we already went over? I didn't think so.
Why didn't you take my rephrasing of the claim?
Wait, what was your rephrasing?
Well, some people could interpret like something coming from nothing as like nothing caused something. But what we were talking about um, was whether there could be an uncaused event, right? Which is to say that, like I gave an example where the universe began, right? So you have like two events that are like, well, I wouldn't even call them two events, but you have a state of affair in which there was nothing, and then a state of affair in which there was something. But it's not in virtue of there being nothing that there was something, right? That something came into being apart from any kind of cause.
Or I mean, you could have there are tons of different interpretations of like you could say you didn't take this view where like a lot of philosophers think that time is parasitic on change, but if you had some sort of metaphysical notion of time where you didn't think that time was parasitic on change, then it could be the case that well, we don't. I mean, we wouldn't take time to be an object, right? So when we say nothing exists, we could say something. We could be saying something like, um, for some time t until t1, there exists no concrete objects, and then at time t1, there begins to exist concrete objects, right? So you might think, I mean, you could have some interpretation like that.
Yeah, I guess that's what I meant. I'm just saying that I think the guy misinterpreted that like somehow nothing was like causally responsible for
Okay.
something.
All right. So I listened to all of that. I was listening intently. So the contradiction lies in you cannot have a relation like a cause. A cause or effect is a relation, right? You cannot have a relation or an interaction for that matter with nothing because there's nothing to interact with. It is logically incoherent to do that, right?
How are you,
It's literally about relations. That's all I'm saying.
how are you interpreting? Why aren't you interpreting nothing as the way I described it?
Because I don't see your description of it does not seem to cohere. Like could you explain to me why nothing can be interacted with?
You have to be interacted with.
Wait, so if it's able to create something, that means it is interacting with something. Correct?
It's not creating anything.
Wait, the whole part of this debate was literally because I said you cannot create something from nothing.
You needed to listen. We weren't we rephrased Josh rephrased it in the way that I was trying to rephrase it. What the claim is that could there be at T1 nothing and then something beginning to exist at T2, but there not being a cause, right? We're not saying that nothing is interacted with T2, right, or the universe. That's not what we're saying. That's what you're misconstruing what's being said.
Right.
Wait, so if nothing's not interacting with it, then it is not creating anything and it has no effect on anything, correct?
There's
The from is just a temporal relation.
No, it is not. It is a metaphysical relation.
Look, you didn't understand what Josh said there. Look, what he's saying is that they're just two events, but they're not causally interacting.
No, they're not events. Nothing by definition is not an event. It is nothing. It is not anything. It is not an event. It is not an object. It is not an entity.
Yeah, I don't know if you can be reasoned with.
Am I wrong on something I'm saying? Like, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think the objection you're talking about is simpler, right? You just say that people who are saying things came from nothing are reifying nothing. It might be simpler.
Well, okay, so if I object to that, right? If I object to it by pointing out how there can be no interaction and no relation, and by extension, no cause and effect related to nothing, because it's not logically possible, then how am I off topic? Because the whole point was basically the universe coming from nothing. And then Isaac came in and expanded it. And he was trying to find the contradiction that I'm laying out here, right? The contradiction is that you can't have relations, you can't have cause and effect with nothing. There is nothing to have cause and effect with.
Once again, you're just not interpreting us correctly.
I'm misinterpreting. Okay.
We're not
Could you?
positing a cause.
Well,
No,
actually,
I
you are.
think,
No, you would actually be. You would be positing a cause. In fact,
I
to
think
say
even
that.
I think even in the non-reification case, like so, I think you could say that both both ways are coherent, right? So you have the reified case, and that's the case that I initially talked about, where you have this state of affairs that we're calling nothing. It would just mean that um, time is not parasitic on change. So there exists time, right? And there are no concrete objects, right? There's no matter, there's no material, whatever you want to say. There's no spatially extended objects at this time. And so we can say that reified state of affairs is what we call nothing, right? And that persists for some time from T0 to T1. And then at T1, there begin to exist concrete objects, right? That would be something coming from nothing because you had a state of
Wait,
affairs.
I don't understand
Okay.
how. What if there's How can you say there's nothing, there's no time, and then there's something? Isn't that a problem? Isn't that a problem?
I didn't say there was no time. I said the time wasn't an object, right? So the point there is just that if you could make it such that
Okay.
time.
I think you missed what Godless Girl said here, right?
Can you shut that
You
guy
didn't.
up, Danny? Josh is
You
trying
sort of.
to. Can you
You
can you
basically have
can you
to.
explain to me what Josh is saying? Josh
Hold
doesn't know how
on,
to dumb it down for
Godless.
me.
Let me
Shut
explain this to you
up!
better than you can.
Jesus Christ, get this guy out of here.
Bro, calm down. You can't handle this shit. Holy shit.
Danny,
The
can you
stress is bad
explain
for
to me
you.
what Josh is saying?
Basically, what Josh is saying is that for there to be a change, there doesn't need to be a like change in time, or you can construe them as separate notions. Where, like as he said, time is not parasitic on
Wait,
change.
what? I don't know what that means. Not parasitic.
Well, like it doesn't like for there to be a change, you can have time and no, you can have time progress and there be no change. I think that's something like that, right? So like even though time is progressing, we wouldn't qualify that as like a change in the state of affairs. I think that's what. Do you understand that? I think that's what. There was. That's what Josh was saying.
Danny, he's just objecting to talking about T0 and T1 because if there's nothing at T0, like it can't be T0 because there is time if it's T0. Is that like the idea?
No.
I'm not asking you, idiot. I'm asking Godless.
Yeah, no one
I
cares
was
what
just
you're
starting
asking,
to think
Isaac.
that.
You're just an idiot, Isaac. I just like to tell you over and over that you're wrong. Like, holy shit, dude. Nobody needs
No,
you to
I
ask
was
them.
just starting to think that there being nothing and then there being something is incoherent actually because of the time issue. There's no time. You can't say and then because then is temporal.
Well, Josh
And
never
then
said there was
there's
no time. He's just saying if you have a certain understanding.
Right,
Wait,
giving a few accounts. I also,
nothing means no time.
well, if it means no time, then that's incoherent.
Wait,
Yeah.
you're not taking nothing to be the absence of everything?
Well, you can things can be spatially extended objects, right? You can have if you didn't think that time was parasitic on change, then what you could say was there are no spatially extended objects, and so there is nothing, right?
Wait, you're saying under the philosophical definition of time you can have stuff?
Not stuff.
You're just begging the question against reductionism about time.
Shut up.
What I want to ask you guys is, do any of you know what contradiction he thinks he's referring to? Because, like, I understand we all don't have any clue how he's going to derive the contradiction. But does anyone know what the contradiction is that he's trying to derive?
Wait, are you talking about that guy that we were talking to before?
The moron.
Oh, I've stopped thinking about him like 6 minutes ago. I was just listening to Josh and Danny. No, I don't. I thought I did, but no, I don't.
What about Danny or Josh or anyone? Does anyone know what?
I think he thinks that we're saying that nothing can cause something. but that's not what we're talking
Wait,
about.
but you don't think that sentence as spelled out right there would be represented formally as a contradiction, right?
No, the thing about it, obviously not, right? So like you have to have this so if nothing causes something and you're not engaging in this reification fallacy, right? Then that would just mean there are no causes. That's all that would mean. And there's no contradiction in that. Because if you're not reifying nothing, then you say nothing causes it, right? Well, so like say nothing causes me to jump up and down. Well, that just means I'm not jumping up and down, right? In this case, right? Now, if you say nothing caused the universe, for example, then that just means there was no cause of the universe. So that's not incoherent, right? If you say there is nothing simpliciter, then that just means that there are no causes. That's also not incoherent.
Well,
That
yeah,
sounds like
so
equivocation.
No,
wait,
there's
let me
not.
just say that.
There's also there's also the reified version of nothing that I was offering, which also doesn't seem, at least on the face of it, incoherent. It just doesn't seem incoherent in either interpretation.
Well, yeah, so okay, so your answer is the same answer I'd give, which is just we haven't actually heard anything that sounds like a contradiction here. Danny, do you think that he actually said something that if we represent it formally, it'll come out false in all possible worlds?
No.
And I'm not asking something that he can show that I'm not asking if you think he's derived a contradiction. I'm just asking if he's even stated something that he'll later give a derivation for that is a contradiction.
No.
Right? Does anybody in the room think that at any point he actually gave something that, if represented formally, would be a contradiction?
No.
Seriously, if there's any defenders of the idiot in here, like, you're welcome to try to state it better than
the four
Can
people
he
that
repeat
put,
himself?
Where's the 4 people that put 1 in the text, cowards? Speak up now.
Oh no, I'm here.
Who said
So
that?
so I think that what's his name? 60K. I think he was equivocating a little bit. It's NoLuck's not
Sorry,
making the
C++.
argument.
Wait. You put 1 in the text and you agree that guy didn't show a contradiction, right? So your trust in him was misguided?
I don't even think I put 1 in the text, actually.
Oh, well, I was just wondering where are the people that put the 1 in the there was 4 people.
I might be
that put
able
1
to
in the
speak
text.
to what he's trying to say.
Oh wait, why would us putting 1 in the text saying that we think that he will mean that we believe that he does?
Let's let that guy talk. The C plus $ times R. Do you think that at any point in this conversation that idiot actually stated something that, if we represent formally, will come out false in all possible worlds?
Yeah, I think multiple times he demonstrated contradiction. That he demonstrated
Okay, so sorry, can you just state what the contradiction is? Because none of us understand. We want to know what the contradiction is. What propositions do we have?
So he was talking about he was basically profiling nothing. He was saying that if
No. Sorry, you're doing the same thing as him. Are you from the same community?
Dude, shut up. Let him explain.
Sorry, who's the person who's... Oh, that's the idiot again. Sorry. Yeah, I understand that person wants people to give these, like, rambling things, but just C plus S. Are you from the same community as that? C plus... I'm asking you, C plus $ 8122. Hello? Is he there anymore? Did he leave?
Hello?
Hey, yeah,
sorry.
talking now.
I'm still trying to figure out push to talk. Sorry.
That's okay. No worries at all. You just hold it when you're talking.